So what we have here today is a Jake Hoback Kwaiback. This particular model is the Kwaiback mid-tech model and is from the first run of Jake's offerings. He opened the slots for the first run around October 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and Jake ran into some manufacturing troubles and had some delays in delivering the knife. So I think it was only completed and shipped and arrived somewhere around June 2014. Right, the price straight from the maker is $425 USD, and this is a flipper only blade. There's no thumb studs to open the blade with, so you can't deploy it without using the flipper tab. And as of such, the whole blade fits into the scales, giving it a very nice slimline look. So it sort of looks like slightly larger from the top and it tapers down to the bottom. And the blade shape is a sort of a upswept shape, very similar to a samurai sword or a harakiri sword, where it's long and straight, and as the belly comes and to the tip, the blade is tapered up or slanted upwards. So as you can see here, it starts to go up somewhere around here. The knife came, I'm not sure how sharp did the knife come straight from the box, but mine is already been touched up and struck by myself. So it's hair shaving sharp. Now, the maker's mark is here, as you can see. Yep. And there's a slight engraving. I'm not sure if this is something from a verse from the Bible or not. I can't confirm. The scale has 2 grooves drilled into it, very deeply drilled, so it does provide some weight reduction. And on the lock side, there's 1 groove drilled, as the bottom part is occupied by the lock bar. Okay. The blade, the scales are made from full tie, both sides, and the blade material, if I'm not mistaken, is S35 VN, easily sharpened. It came with some slight lock stick, but after wearing in, there doesn't seem to be any stick whatsoever now. So it's good, and the lockup it's very strong. It's the tension on the lock bar is high. So then lockup is around, I should say, 40%, decent enough to lock the blade or prevent any lock slip. An interesting thing about this knife is that it comes with the Hoback rolling detent, as they call it, the HRD. Ultimately, what it is that there's a screw which holds the detent ball. So in theory, you can adjust the screw either by tightening it or loosening it, and you can adjust the height or how strong the detent is. Mine came with the detent very strong, resulting in a very nice flipping action. And mine came with, I think, red Loctite applied, so I'm not gonna adjust this or strip the thread or risk adjusting it and then it sort of develops, it sort of loosens after a while, so I'm gonna leave it at it as it is right now. So flipping action is strong, it's fast, but it's not silky smooth kind of flipping action. It's more of a hydraulic feel. There's more of a hydraulic feel to it, so it's sort of, when you flip it out, it's sort of slightly how do you call it, slightly pushing out from the scales, and then once it is midway through, the weight of the blade flings it open, and then it flies out. So there's sort of a build up to the flipping action. There's no visible blade stops here, so the blade stops are inside here with a C notch cut out in the blade. There's not a large stop sound like thwack or recoil, because I think the positioning of the lock bar stop is slightly lower, so the recoil is more towards this direction rather than this direction. That's what I think. So yeah, as you can hear, the sound is not as loud or as hollow as other knives. And closing wise, you can close it down, but it does not, you can't really do the automatic blade free fall kind of motion. You sort of have to give it a hard jerk and it will close, or you can just flip it once and it will close. Centering is, I should say, near perfect, or maybe it's just a hair off to this side. It looks, yeah, I think it's a hair off to this side, but it looks fine to me. I'm not picky about the centering as long as the blade does not touch either of the scales, so that's good enough. And jimping wise, there's two spots of jimping, one on the end of the blade and the other one at the back of the handle. The one on the top of the blade, it's pretty sufficient. I wish they could add another maybe 3 more so you could, position your thumb a bit higher, but that works well. The jimping on the back, on the other hand, is more of a design oriented jimping rather than functional, because it looks tough and it looks hard, but if you look closely, it's sort of curved out, so it's more of a rounded jimping and it doesn't really add grip or resistance to friction to your thumb. So yeah, but the back really serves nicely as a thumb rest when you're holding it in a stabbing position. Holding wise, of course, the first notch will allow you to rest your index finger and the remaining fingers will come after it. Slight note that the scale is slightly curved here, so I'm not sure if it is to provide more ergonomics or just some design. I wear a size M glove, so if you guys wearing a size L or XL gloves, I guess it will be fine. Your pinky finger will rest nicely on the scale and not hang off. There is no hole, lanyard hole, or to accommodate the lanyard. You can't really put your lanyard on the last standoff, and putting your lanyard on the top standoff would be a bit weird, so I guess I would just go with this without the lanyard, and the pocket clip can be reversible for either left hand carry or right hand carry or left hand carry, but no option for tip down carry, so this is only a tip up knife. So if you look at the pocket clip, it looks like a Hinderer clip, but much more flatter if you compare it to other clips like Spyderco's clip or the Sebenzas. This is the flattest pocket clip I ever seen. It looks weird. I was having second thoughts of it, like does it really work, or will it fit into my jeans? But apparently it works. So it works, but you get quite a lot of the knife showing. So once you put it in your pocket, you can see the top part of the knife jutting out with the jimping and all that. So it looks kinda, oh, what's that huge object jutting out from your pants pocket. The good thing is, because this knife doesn't have any, because of the blade that rests entirely inside the scale, it doesn't really occupy that much of a real estate in your pocket, and the small flipping tab won't really, disturb your wallet or other things that you might have in your, you might have in your pocket. What I like to improve on this knife is the flipper tab. If you somewhat position your hand wrongly and try to flip it, you might bite into the angled top instead and sort of hurt your fingers. So it could be slightly less angled so as to provide more comfort, but if you were to rest your whole finger on it and inside, like the whole rest of it, then you would eliminate the issue of pressing inside. So you can't really light switch it downwards. You have to sort of pull it back like in this angle, right? So let's see how this knife compares with the other knives, like the Sebenza 21. It's longer than Sebenza 21. The ever so popular Paramilitary 2. And also one of my longest knives, the Browse Blades Division Flipper. So this is a long blade. It's longer than a Paramilitary 2 or the Sebenza, but it's shorter in both blade length and scale handle length of the Division Flipper. Let's see, closed. Closed, it is very much smaller than the Division Flipper, and of course the Sebenza is smaller. Thickness wise, let's take the Sebenza as a reference, and there you go. Sebenza is very streamlined, whereas the Kwaiback is streamlined as well, but it's certainly much fatter. Probably a good 50% fatter than the Sebenza. The finishing is a nice light stone, I would say medium stone wash finish, and the blade has a somewhat similar finish to the scales, which sort of results in a overall very plain looking knife in terms of finishing and color. What I would prefer is either a satin blade to provide contrast with the stonewash scales, or a more darker finish on the titanium, dirtier finish, bronze maybe, or light, or if you have like dark finish on the outside and inside as it is now. So you get somewhat of a contrast, but now there's there's not much contrast as opposed to like the Sebenza, where you have a stonewash blade and a dark bead blasted titanium. So two-tone. So yes, there you go, the Jake Hoback Kwaiback. Thanks for watching.